kind of totally remodeled my life. Got divorced, came out of the closet, changed jobs, careers, totally remodeled my life very intentionally. I got cancer twice. So I just reevaluated my entire life and made some changes. It was great. She's a wonderful woman, great mother. We had a good marriage for a long time, and then I got sick and kind of reevaluated who I am and who I want to be and what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. When you're faced with your own mortality, you look at things differently.
2 years ago, I left an abusive marriage. So I've gone from being a weak victim that allowed my ex-husband to abuse not only me, but my children, to a strong, independent, very strong-headed woman that I used to be. I had an escape plan in place. It was going to happen on a Friday. Wednesday, CPS showed up at my door and took custody of my kids. So it was either leave and save my life and get my kids back, or stay and I would have been done in a week.
Oh my goodness, man, that's a good one. I learned to live life, enjoy life. Last 3 years, 3 surgeries, well actually 4 surgeries, 3 coronas. So every day is a new day, living to the fullest, to the best. Gotta enjoy life. Plus I lost my mom last year, so just living life to the fullest. Yep. Help out where I can be needed. If you need me, I'm there. So that's it.
Oh, I cut myself ever so much more slack. Also, I've run out of time for some things. So some dreams that I had that were always, I'll do that. Well, I'm not going to do that because there's enough time left anymore because I'm older. But it's not all bad. I'm much less stressed. There are a lot of cool things about being older. I'm not going to get a PhD. I'm 72, and it's not worth. I wouldn't have enough productive time at the other side of it I could get one, but why? Because I wouldn't have that much time to do anything with it. It's increasingly less likely that I will ever make it to Australia because that's a very long plane trip, and the older you get, the less you enjoy long plane trips. Settling for Scotland in May. When I was younger, I thought I would either be There were times when I thought I might be a clinical psychologist, some kind of scientist, a rabbi. None of these things are going to happen. But I still study. I still study people as an amateur, try to help people as I can. Mainly I bake a lot of bread and I give a lot of bread away because it makes people happy. And whatever you can do to throw out a little bit of happiness into the world is worth doing.
A lot more at peace, a lot more sure of who I am and where I'm going with life. I appreciate the small things a lot more. So I grew up here in Roanoke, from Roanoke, and I moved back here after college. And that was, part of me really wanted to do it, part of me really wanted to move somewhere else. But moving here, and I've been here about 3 years since then, it's just taught me a lot about what's really important in life. Just learning to appreciate the relationships that I have, the small things really in life that I think last and actually make a difference. When I was in college, I was very ambitious, wanting to do something to make an impact in the world. I decided to move back here, and it's kind of paid off with the mindset of, well, if I'm going to make an impact in the world, why not do it in the place where I know best and with people that I know? And so that's been really cool to see that kind of pay off over the past couple of years.
Gotten more into my health and fitness. I turned 30 last year, so my perspective is a lot different than it was when I was 26. I drink a lot less. My perspective on work-life balance is a lot different. That's a really big one. I used to prioritize making more money and grinding things out, and now I kind of see things differently and try to do things like come up to this mountain pretty regularly, and I'm out of the office at 5 o'clock if I can. Preferably be out of the office entirely at some point. Offices suck, but yeah, things like that. I had a job from the pandemic that was completely remote, and it was really task-based and boring and unfulfilling. made the leap to leave that. I was in a nice position where I wasn't super worried about bills at the time, and I was able to go work at a gym for a little while and do something I enjoyed that was less income but a better feeling, and it really changed the way I look at that kind of thing.
I guess I'm less concerned with other people's perception of me, and I'm less concerned with first impressions of people. Like, I give people second chances a lot more often these days. It wasn't useful to my friendships to, I guess, let me think of how to explain this. My initial understanding of people is often wrong, and if I go off my initial reaction to people, then I have missed out on a lot of really great friends that I've looped back around and reconnected with. And so now I'm realizing that it's probably best to give people a lot of chances. And I'm glad that people give me a lot of chances.
With age, I've changed physically. I try to stay sharp mentally. I've become a widow in the last 5 years, but it wasn't a sad occasion necessarily. Yeah, and I'm thinking ahead as I get older that I need to be aware of things that are going to continue to change. No, I don't think it's my last opportunity. I like to get in my car and go real fast down the road and go somewhere and look at something. And no, I enjoy driving and going places. Not necessarily anything too active, because I am older and a little overweight. So, yeah, it's not my last hurrah.
Oh my, a lot. Change of career and getting into nursing school, working in EMS. It's been grown a lot, that's for sure. A lot of traumatic experiences that not people shouldn't go through. It makes you more anxious about life and make you want to be more in the moment for sure. First time seeing a dead body, within the last 5 years, a lot of different situations that were unsafe that I've never been in before as a medical provider. Lots of overdoses, lots of drugs. It's just, you see how the worst of the world and you see the best of the world all in one job, that's for sure. I actually got to deliver a baby one time, and so that has kind of guided my career path to wanting to go to L&D as a nurse. So that was one of my best calls, I would say.
Very drastically, I guess. I've actually been struggling with addiction. It's actually been within the last 5 years, so literally 5 years. So I'm 28 now. When I was 23, I went through a really bad breakup and started doing meth and heroin, and I didn't really get full-blown addicted till I was 25, so it really changed my life. I don't really come from a family, at least we're my intermediate family, like my sisters, my parents. No one close to me suffers from addiction. My niece did. I didn't really grow up. I grew up in a very sheltered environment. I mean, I had smoked pot and drank in high school, and I partied, but I never messed with anything hard. When I went through that breakup, I kind of had a fuck it all moment and started doing hard drugs, and I had everything. I mean, I had my own place, and I had a job that I'd held for 7 years. I was a CNA, and I really had everything going for me, in the right direction at least. And I ruined it all within a matter of a couple years. I've been in and out of rehab. I actually just got out of jail. That's one reason he was taking me out to eat, because I've been in jail for almost a year. I mean, everything, literally, all the friends, I've lost so many friends. I lost my niece to addiction. I lost a girlfriend to addiction. My niece died 3 years ago. My girlfriend died it's been about a year and a half. I mean, my life is completely different than what it was 5 years ago. I'm not working currently. I've caught a lot. I had a clean record, and, I've had a couple charges now. I've lost many friends, death and just in general, because a lot of my friends were coworkers, and they didn't associate with hard drugs. I had friends that smoked pot and all that, and they had nothing to do with that. So I really lost 90% of my friend groups. It's just been hard. My life's completely different now. I try and live for just for today, pretty much. I have been getting high in some way, shape, or form since I was 14 years old. So it's hard for me to picture, it sounds kind of bad, but it's hard for me to picture my whole life not getting high, So I try and take it for just for today, where I can make it through just for today. Sometimes it's just for the next 10 minutes. It's just for the next hour. because I even had another day where it was, you have days even after going for so long that you have days where really, like I had a day I had just gotten out and just, life catches up. You're kind of sheltered on the inside. It sounds bad because jail sucks, but you're sheltered where, you get out and all reality hits you again. Everything you've been avoiding catches up to you, and you got all this stuff to do, and it's overwhelming. And so I had a day the other day where, I was really having bad cravings and stuff, and you just got to take it just by the moment, just make it through the next 30 minutes, through the next hour. I get depressed sometimes because I just want my life to be what it was before I started doing hard drugs. I want the life I had back. I want my friends back. And it's something that I've been working on accepting, that I can't go back. I can only go forward and work with what I got. So.